Hello everyone and welcome to this presentation on rapid prototyping. One of the reasons that I've chosen this model to use as an instructional system design model is because it is more time efficient and cost effective, and it allows stakeholders to give immediate real-time feedback as the presentation or training is being developed and completed, rather than waiting until it is completely finished. Some weaknesses, though, are that it is a relatively new model, so the research on this model is still being conducted. That's not to say that it hasn't been tried by other designers, but it's not as widely affirmed as other design models like Dick and Carey or the Kemp model. It's also an agile and iterative design process, which is different from your most common waterfall design models such as ADDIE, which can be a little off-putting to those who are fluent in those models. So let's first go over the exact steps that will be utilized during the rapid prototyping process. The first is to conduct research into the concept and assess the exact needs that need to be addressed during the training or learning experience. This is done by a team of individuals who are directly involved in the creation of the design process, including subject matter experts, user experience designers, software engineers, etc. These roles that are included in this phase of design are dependent upon the company that is conducting the training, as well as the needs that have been identified. The second step in the process is to create a skeletal prototype, which is usually using a lo-fi medium. A lo-fi medium is simply using basic tools such as paper and pencil, but I'm going to go over exactly what that looks like 2 slides from now. Once this process has been completed, the team will gather user evaluation feedback and refine the concept. This can be done in 2 ways. Either you can have actual users review the prototype in order to assess its usability and relevance to what needs to be trained, or you can use the feedback of the team creating the prototypes. Those stakeholders would use a user-centered mindset to conduct the evaluation. Once the feedback has been completed and evaluated, the next step would be to implement those refinements. We'll then repeat step 3 by gathering user evaluation feedback and refining the concept. At this time, we might have a completed product, or we would continue to repeat those steps until we have the desired result. As I said in the second step, when we create a skeletal prototype, we'll most likely use a lo-fi medium. Here we have examples of them. One of them is paper prototyping, which is essentially creating the design we want to use using paper, pencils, Post-its, etc. This allows quick and easy feedback and iteration. Another example is a clickable wireframe. This is essentially what we were doing on paper, but on a computer screen. It's an extremely low-lift design of the flow of our page elements that are also clickable. So why do we use those kinds of prototypes? Because they're inexpensive, using the materials you most likely have lying around your desk. They're fast and collaborative, which means that you can rapidly experiment with your design and use common design skills in order to create your prototype more quickly. And within that space, they allow early testing so that we can find bugs to be fixed before we move to developing a computer prototype. Evaluation and continuous evaluation is one of the most important aspects of instructional design. In my research, I have found that the Kilpatrick model of evaluation seems to be the most effective and is what I will use for this training. There are 4 steps to the Kilpatrick model. The first one is reaction, which means that immediately following the training, we will provide a feedback survey in order to gather immediate data for future improvements to implementation. The second one is learning. This is where a pre- and post-assessment will be given in order to measure the increase of understanding within trainees. The third is behavior. After an established time confirmed by the design and administrative teams, employees will be observed by their managers or supervisors to discern the training's effectiveness. The fourth is results. Data analyses will be conducted by the design and administrative teams before and after the training and will determine the training's effectiveness. One of these data analyses is also part of your Step 1. While the Kirkpatrick model establishes evaluation for both before and after the training, there are also formative assessments that will be used during the training. 2 examples of these assessments will be the use of response technologies, such as live polls or the use of a smartphone app in order to give real-time feedback during the training. There are also built-in application assessments, which include simulations or practical exercises in order to evaluate the participants' effective application of the instruction. As I stated in the beginning, based on my research, I think the rapid prototyping model is one of the best emerging models for the evolution of instructional design. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.